Dead Man's Shoes is a film directed by Shane Meadows. It follows the story of a returning army man seeking revenge as a result of the cruelty his brothers faced. The film is recognised as a revenge western. However, I don't believe the film is a western at all. Dead Man's Shoes is obviously not set in the Wild West, rather in the Midlands in 2004. Despite this, the film features many popular tropes seen in westerns. Richard's character is an example of this. He's a male protagonist driven by revenge and has a strong sense of justice against a group of antagonists as a result of a loved one being hurt. Although Dead Man's Shoes is already classed as a thriller, I think it also could be categorized as a psychological thriller. Throughout the film, Richard's instability is unavoidable, and his unbridled obsession with revenge and violence invites us into his mind, whilst also unsettling with the viewers. As the movie progresses, I believe the psychological thriller elements become more and more apparent. One example of this is when Sonny, Herbie and Soz's tea gets drugged. As a result of Richard's disturbed mind, he takes advantage of the trio's vulnerability and overtly plays with their mind and lives. I find the whole sequence quite hard to watch, regardless of whether I believe the group deserved this punishment or not. Sonny being dragged to his own kitchen, half naked and at Richard's mercy, was a stark contrast to what his leader-like character had been, and solidified the extent Richard was willing to go for revenge. The infantilization Herbie faced from Richard, including Richard needing to be on his level, and his imperative dialogue, made for a very perturbing moment also. The film is advertised as a thriller drama, however I believe there are many conventional horror elements prevalent in the film. A great example of this is the gas mask and boiler suit, used to keep Richard anonymous when he attacks the group. The outfit is reminiscent of horror icons such as Friday the 13th's Jason, as well as other conventional horror tropes that appear in the movie. The blood-written warnings, Richard's ability to sneak into occupied houses undetected, and the use of first person when Richard preys upon his enemies to make the film a lot scarier to me. The lack of autonomy the characters have also made the film very frightening. Meadows uses the issue that the disadvantaged groups face to trouble the audience. Anthony's learning disabilities and therefore his inability to properly communicate his thoughts and feelings made him a reliant on Sonny's group, who abused his trust and took advantage of him. Watching this happen and understanding that Anthony was helpless evoked pure horror at the realization that cruel situations like this do exist. Dead Man's Shoes is an example of a genre of order film. The story features a solo male lead who is willing to use violence to resolve issues, even going as far as killing himself. The antagonists of the film, Sonny's group, are also stereotypical bad guys of the genre. Sonny himself is a serious drug dealer dressed in black with a scar on his eyebrow. Ironically, his group, who are constantly talking over each other, enable each other's stupidity and laziness. This comedic trope of a serious leader trying to command slackers is seen in other genre of order films. Despite the film fitting into genre of order, in my opinion, there are some features of integration. Richard's brotherly love and protectiveness over Anthony and the nostalgic home movies played at the beginning are examples of this. In addition, funny moments Sonny's groups produce, like Sonny's face being drawn on in his sleep, and the rest of the gang not mentioning it, could also fit into genre of integration. Dead Man's Shoes is a male-dominated film with a severe lack of female characters present in the lives of the men. The only two women are Marie and Patty. Patty, being one of the only two women in the film, is constantly objectified and dehumanized throughout the short amount of her screen time. She's abused by Sonny and following his lead the rest of the group as well. Sonny in particular is a character that represents toxic masculinity through his views and treatment of women and other people he deems less than him. Richard's pranks at the beginning of the movie, including dyeing Al's hair and drawing on Sonny's face, poke fun at and belittle the group's beliefs. Overall, Dead Man's Shoes I would consider not to be a western, but more of a thriller.